Former President Trump slammed Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on Thursday, calling him an absolute loser and accusing him of giving Democrats everything they want. Trump's comments are the latest in a series of disparaging condemnations that he has made toward the Senate Republican leader. Trump said in a statement from his Save America PAC that McConnell did not stop trillions of dollars in spending by refusing to use the debt ceiling as a negotiating tool. He said McConnell gave it up for nothing. Congress must approve a government funding measure by the end of the month to avoid a government shutdown. Lawmakers appear poised to pass a short term funding bill, but several Republican senators have said McConnell has been guarded on negotiations. Trump also appeared to accuse McConnell of backing Senator Joe Manchin's proposal to speed up the process for approving energy and infrastructure projects. The permitting reform he has pushed for is set to be included in the continuing resolution to keep the government funded. McConnell is one of 38 Senate Republicans who have co sponsored legislation to overhaul the permitting process separately from the continuing resolution. Trump also praised GOP Senator Rick Scott, Ted Cruz, and Mike Lee for working to stop Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and his favorite Senator McConnell from ramming through a disastrous continuing resolution that the former president said would not stop inflation or grow the economy. Instead, we need a long-term continuing resolution so we can deal with the real emergency at hand, the radical left's destruction of America, and once again, put America first. McConnell is so bad, Trump said. Scott, Cruz, and Lee have argued that Republicans should advocate for a longer-term deal that would fund the government into next year and would not raise federal spending levels until after a new session of Congress begins in January. Trump has repeatedly criticized McConnell over an extended period of time. He accused McConnell of being disloyal to him in July after the House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 insurrection, played a clip of the GOP Senate leader blaming Trump for the attack. Trump also called McConnell's wife, former Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, crazy and accused McConnell of spending his time helping Chao and his family get rich on China. Chao's shipping business, the Foremost Group, is an American company that does business in China and other countries. Okay, so I've said before, I'm not a Trump fan in the slightest. I've defended him on multiple things I think he's either done correctly but been mischaracterized as having done wrong. An example of this would be his handling of North Korea. Well, I don't think it really went anywhere. I still liked that he met with Kim Jong Un. Um, but this has got to be, and he's criticized McConnell before, but anytime he criticizes McConnell, and specifically when he tries to say he's doing nothing against the Democrats, when that pretty much any disparaging remark he makes towards him, and I'm not a McConnell fan either, nobody is, but just to give you an example, as to show you the ridiculousness of this hatred that he has for this man all of a sudden, where he says that McConnell gave it up for nothing. Okay, that's factually incorrect. They're saying that McConnell's been guarded on negotiations. Um, he also accuses McConnell of backing Manchin's the proposals that Manchin. And look, anybody that follows this stuff regularly knows Manchin actively soils whatever the Democrats want. So you can't say, "Oh my God, McConnell is backing a proposal by the most conservative Democrat in the Senate who regularly torpedoes the progressive left's agenda, but then he's also giving the progressive left everything they want." You can't go both ways with that. He says McConnell is so bad, and I've responded to this before, but I don't know how anyone who calls themselves being against what liberals want, or even just are progressives, which I guess is more out there, can look at McConnell's actual record and say that he's bad. He's voted down voting right reforms, healthcare reforms. Um, there's a reason they called him the Grim Reaper in the Senate. This is an individual who will not allow a vote on pretty much anything that's left leaning, especially when he has any kind of control or power. I mean, this is a person who for what seemed to be the first time in history, as far as I can recall, blocked a Supreme Court justice for almost an entire year until after the presidential election in 2016. So I don't know where Trump gets this. And then even when you go to like the thing about McConnell being a loser, what does that even mean? This is a guy who gets reelected fairly overwhelmingly every time he runs for another term. He's in his seventh term. This is an individual who is going to go down in history as the longest serving Republican leader in the Senate. I really don't know in any respect. Like he's a successful politician. He's rich. He's been very capable of blocking most left-leaning things since he's been Senate Majority Leader. Not as much as Minority Leader, but during that 6 years of terror. I just don't understand how anyone can look at his record, look at the things he's done. And I'll put it to you like this. McConnell is one of the most consequential politicians of the last 20 years, easily. Because many things that the Democrats have wanted to do, he's blocked. He's halted a lot of progress. And if he had not done what he did a couple of years ago with Merrick Garland, there's a good chance Roe v. Wade would still be law. So this is not someone who has failed in any capacity. Sometimes a bill he wants doesn't get through. Sometimes a person he wants to win the presidential election doesn't succeed. But as far as his record of actually getting most stuff that he wants done, accomplished, or successful, there's no comparison. There's no way of combating that. He's just a very intelligent, and again, speaking entirely objectively here, a very smart and successful man. And I don't know how if McConnell is a loser, then we all are, because he's one of the few politicians that has really been influential in these past couple of decades, with multiple things that are in place because of him and him alone. So I think Trump is completely off there. I think he's letting his personal, they used to call it Trump derangement syndrome. I think he has McConnell derangement syndrome. If you can look at a man who gets reelected overwhelmingly every 6 years, who blocked almost every single thing the Democrats wanted, but then you say he's giving the radical left what they want, you're insane. I mean, this is not someone who's a failure in any capacity. And I'm saying that as someone that thinks his record is terrible, but he's been very effective at what he's tried to do, which is halt progress. I mean, and remember, most of the stuff that Trump wanted when he was president, McConnell backed. So, I think Trump should be singing him praises. He should be endorsing him for another term as Senate Republican leader. Everything that Trump did that McConnell wanted either happened or he backed it. He's the last person that he should be calling unsuccessful. It's like, McConnell has been going into the Senate for almost 40 years, and Trump is sitting at his house in Florida after losing a presidential election in states that are supposed to be won by Republicans, like Georgia and Arizona, but McConnell's the loser.